All right, ladies and gentlemen, of course, welcome to this amazing and new episode of The Reality Kenya. And of course, my name is Simi Kenya, and we say a big thank you for the growth that you've always given to this show since we started. Of course, also to the support that you've given to Achilles' social media handles, both on TikTok and Facebook. It's doing great.
It's doing good.
Yes.
We're doing well. We're doing well.
Yeah.
We're doing well.
Keep doing that. Share with your friends, share with everyone so that we can always make it big. Keep following Wakili on his social media handles just the same way you also do to our social media handles so that we can reach each and every person in every episode that we do. So today we are live once again from the Learned Corner as usual, and my guest once again as usual is Wakili Willis Otieno, the Deputy Party Leader, Safina Party, PIKI PONKI.
Paka Melodisco.
Karibu sana.
Paka inaturamba sasa.
Kabisa. Niliona umeweka pale TikTok. Venye sasa kinaramba wa Kenya.
Kinaramba wa Kenya. Inaturamba.
Kabisa. And so many people have agreed.
Now this is when we say that it is now the real PIKI PONKI.
Right now.
Maisha imekuwa abunwasi. Haina mbele wala nyuma.
Wala nyuma.
And we are seeing an interesting events happening in our country.
Yeah.
The finance bill was passed, became Finance Act. Okia Umtata went to court, Senator.
Yes.
Got an order suspending the implementation of that act. But in disobedience of the orders of the court, we've seen EPRA still announced new prices of fuel.
Yeah.
We've seen also the excise duty, that is import duty imposed on imported vehicles.
Yeah.
It's also gone up. And you know, it's interesting that why would Kenya Kwanza insist on disobeying the court order? The court having said that suspend the Finance Act.
Yeah.
Why are they ignoring that court order? They are setting a very bad foundation for themselves. And the people will remember. It's the little things that ultimately counts. So they are now branding themselves as purveyors of disobedience of court orders.
Yeah.
They don't believe in the rule of law. And unfortunately, their disobedience of the orders of the court is causing us pain. You know, even some people are walking. This week, if you saw, many people are walking to work. Yes, not because they want to, but just because they're trying. They can't. The prices, fares went up.
Yeah.
Where you are paying 40 shillings, now you are being told to pay 60, 70. And that is quite unfortunate. You know, the fare from Bondo to Kisumu is now 500 shillings. Before it used to be 350. Now it's 500 shillings. And that to me is quite unfortunate. So our people are going to go through even this kama ni kuturamba. Imepita kuturamba sasa. Inatukula na inalamba bone marrow. Because people are not eating. People are not eating. These are basics. We are talking about today in the morning, how many Kenyans woke up and didn't have food? Breakfast, and some slept hungry. And not of their will, but because the cost of living has gone up and cost of basic items.
So the Matatu Association said that they will increase the fares by 30%.
Yes.
So where you used to pay.
And yet, while this is happening, we saw the SRC proposed an increment of the salaries of seniors, public officers, to cushion them against their cost of living,
the tough
economic times. So then they are feeling comfortable in their air-conditioned offices, being cushioned against the cost of living, whereas those of us who our money is used to accommodate them in those offices, we are not being cushioned. And the only cushion you can give the common man is the cushion start by lowering the price of fuel. And you can do it by trying to find out why are we on a spree to raise 1 trillion shillings in 1 year. You are trying to do the impossible, raising 1 trillion shillings more than what you raised last year in 1 year. What has taken previous presidents 10 years to achieve, you want to achieve it in 1 year. So you are forcing Mwananchi, you are strangling Mwananchi. You are now sucking out the bone marrow out of them. Mjua mtu anakula ile mfupa.
Anaanza na
nyama. Sasa ingia ndani. Sasa ile ndani ya katikati analamba yote. That is what is happening to Kenya. Now this is the real kuturamba. That's quite unfortunate because if Kenya Kwanza was genuine about addressing our plight, we should start the conversation from where we left. And I'm very happy that yesterday the Auditor General herself confirmed that she doesn't know our debt status.
What?
The Auditor General herself, Madam Katango, said she doesn't know how much debt we owe and how much debt we've paid. As we've done our forensic audit, Jimmy Wanjigi has done a forensic audit.
Yes, the one you took to
the one we took to Parliament. And we are telling them the debts which we approved as a people, 2 trillion. The debts inherited from previous regimes as of 2013, 2.3 trillion. That brings a total of 4.3 trillion. As per the books. You go to Central Bank Statement of Accounts, we have paid 5.6 trillion Kenya shillings as debt repayments. So if you take the Statement of Accounts vis-a-vis the approved debts, it means you paid 5.6, but your books are showing your debt is 4.3. So you have almost 1 trillion more
than what you should
have paid. But the same central bank tells you that in your debt books, you owe people 10 trillion
that we should pay.
It's like for the last 10 years we've not paid anything. That is why it is important that we need that debt register to be made public. Give us a debt register, how many debts we've taken, how much have we paid, to who, what were we paying for, the loans you took was for what project. Then you can say, we owe these people, we don't owe them. But if that is opened, it will tell all Kenyans that we don't owe anybody any money. And what will be the effect of that? It will mean that now this squeezing that we are going through, the pain that we are being forced to go through, to raise 1 trillion more than what we raised last year, in 1 year, it will go away. You can now get tax rebates. You can get tax reliefs. You don't need now to collect 16% VAT on fuel. You can as well do away with it. You are giving people tax breaks. Then now you start spurring an economic growth. But they don't want that conversation. Ukraine war, COVID. But the main issue here is very simple. Let's agree. This is how much we collect as a country per year. How do we use it? The largest expenditure item of our budget books is called debt. Almost 70%, so between 70 to 80% goes to debt payments. But yet, when you go to your bank, central bank, they tell you still owe people 10 trillion. So what are you paying for? It's like pouring water in a hole. And you expect to fill it up. It will not. Just an abyss. That is a problem. And it's very important that all that Kenyans have not followed on this keenly. That statement by the controller, by the Auditor General, that's the one who, an official office that ultimately audits all your books.
Of the country.
Of the country. When we first spoke, people told us, what? But now you have an Auditor General herself telling you, I don't know the status of your debt.
I don't know how much you owe.
I don't know how much you are paid. I don't know. Me, even when I take Fuliza, when I take Fuliza even of 10,000 Kenya shillings, my Fuliza statement of account is very well maintained. When I pay 100, I know I paid 100.
You are left with 900.
I'm left with 900. Somebody sends me a pesa of 5,000, they take 2,000 for Fuliza. I know. They can't come and tell me at Willis now, you still owe us 20,000. I'll bring my statement of accounts and tell them, look here, as per my records, I've paid. So you want to tell me a government that is handling trillions cannot present that statement of accounts to the Auditor General? That is a serious indictment of our state today. But unfortunately, the more we don't pay attention to this issue, the more pain is going to be caused to our people. And I want Kenyans to remember this. This pain is going to become unbearable. There's something I told you before, and the controller of budget confirmed it also yesterday. Very interesting days. That every time the shilling loses value by a unit, our debt books increase by 40 billion.
Yes.
When you lose just by value, 40 billion more in debt. And the shilling has been on a downward spiral, losing value
it's dropping every day.
Dropping every day.
Yeah.
In fact, even now Ugandans are discarding the shilling. They don't want it. They want dollars or the Uganda shillings. Then you have an administration that is more focused on import economy. You want to import everything. No, somebody was telling me the other day that we are now reduced to a country where the national executive is discussing the number of jerrycans of oil, cooking oil, that you've imported.
That you have imported 1 million.
We imported 1 million cooking oil, jerrycans of cooking oil.
Not in tons.
Not in jerrycans. We're now counting jerrycans of cooking oil that government is importing. I mean, this Kenya Kwanza wants to even enter our kitchen and start stealing. Unusually. A government should be talking of big things.
Yes.
Big macro
Tons
policies.
of oil.
Yes, that to change. What business does government have that now I'm importing, I'm bringing sugar? I have brought how many bags of sugar? I've brought oil. I mean, what will the private sector do? What will you and I do? Those are things that government should not be involved with. Government should be involved with this broad picture of food security.
Yeah.
How do we achieve a competitive edge, value addition to our products?
Yeah.
What do we do to make sure that our people are able to get jobs? What do we do to facilitate the trade of our product with neighboring countries or export, boosting our export? Now you are running there to start competing with Bidco, who is going to bring jerrycans of oil
Between Bidco and
the government. Now you are arguing with each other in court. Oh, we brought 700 million jerrycans of oil. No, it was 1 million jerrycans of oil.
Yes.
What is that? No? You know, that point, when you reach that point, it means that everything has come to a stop. You are not thinking the big picture. You are now in the kitchen. It's like you are a man of the house. You can't always be in the kitchen every time trying to write a signature over the cooking flour. You want to count the nyanyas to your wife and kids, that you can only cook meat using 2 nyanyas per day. Or half a nyanya. Where is the one that I left behind? Where is the kitungu? Where have you put too much salt? You're even arguing over salt. I mean, you can't grow. Where the world is, countries are supposed to be focused on bigger things. Right? How do you change the economic trajectory of your country? And you can't be doing that when the government is busy in the kitchen, fighting with the local businesses on who should be supplying oil, salt, sugar, fertilizer. You can't. Because then now you end up having what is called a tunnel vision. Because sugar alone will take all of your energy.
Before you go to
salt. So you're just in the kitchen here all the time. We are discussing stomach issues. And one thing that I want to say also, because of this, what I call now an emerging mismanagement or mishandling of the economic situation, the failure and the refusal to address what is the root causes of this high cost of living, which I believe is debt. We are now going to reach a point where the people of Kenya will say, these servers must be open. Fungua server, na not server ya IBC. Fungua tumbo. The servers, fungua tumbo tuone why people are hungry. Kenyans will demand now we must open that server of the tumbo. We want to know, why are we hungry? Right? And they'll ask government, our stomachs are empty because you are taking away everything we have. You've made access to basic items affordable to majority of us. We are not able to live. You're actually forcing us to go to Shakahola by your deed. Because there's no difference now if people can't access food, not by their deed, but because you've made the access too expensive, far away from them. You're as good as telling them, just go to Shakahola. Now we are having a mass Shakahola, government edition. Country Shakahola, government edition. Because you don't want to deal with the question of debt. Let's deal with this question of debt once and for all. Agree what we owe, agree what we are paying out. Let's give our people reliefs, give our people breaks. Stop borrowing from the domestic market when it's not necessary. Because you're just borrowing from the domestic market to profiteer certain banks. Get out of domestic borrowing. Let's banks come and start lending money to me and you. to the common man, so that we are able to access capital at low interest rates. Then we become the drivers of the economy.
Yeah.
We start investing it in new inventions, new technology, new industries.
Yeah.
We create jobs, value add. Whatever crops or whatever agricultural produce we have, value add it.
Yeah.
Access new markets beyond Kenya, because now you are able to access cheap credit facilities. As it is now, government is over borrowing locally. They are being charged crazy interest rate and they are paying. It's still my money that is being used to pay for that interest and that loan. I'm not now able to access credit facility because of the high interest rates. If I go, they'll ask for an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
The banks are just asking you literally, for us to give you a loan, you must give us your arm and your leg. Yeah. Give us a pound of flesh.
They're chasing you away.
They're chasing you away. And if you take it, they know. With the prevailing economic science, we are going to default.
Yeah.
Look at the auction pages of the newspapers. The only advertisement being done in the newspaper is auction.
Yeah.
Poor people who have struggled, people have tried through all means possible to do legitimate business.
Yeah.
And they took facilities. They are not able to keep up with the credit terms.
Yeah.
Can't pay the installments because the interest rates are crazy and the banks keep increasing them. You took a loan when the interest rate was 14%, now it is 18%.
Yeah.
Right?
After 6 months.
After 6 months, it has now gone up to 17, 18%. Your revenue projections have not increased.
Yeah.
The bank is demanding for its pound of flesh. So we are being enslaved here. And the government is facilitating that enslavement of the people of Kenya by continuing to participate in domestic borrowing.
Yeah.
Borrowing for what we've not approved. Not getting parliamentary approval for those borrowings. Money that is being taken not to any particular project. Yet, as in our constitution, we've said all borrowings should be tied to a project. So when they go borrowing every week, what project are they doing? Tell us, we are going to borrow this week. Because Parliament approved, we are going through the Naivasha Kisumu Highway. And we need 200 billion, so we are going to borrow it.
Yeah.
That is something that people can say, yes, we agreed. We know where the money is going. Nowadays, we're just told treasury bills, treasury bonds. Every week.
Yeah.
Tap sales. But now he's telling you, what is this
for?
What is this for? And where is it approved? That's the madness we're dealing with here. But it is the pain that the Mwananchi will end up feeling. Because the Mwananchi is the sovereign. He's the one who carries that burden of that unbudgeted for, unplanned for, and unaccounted for loan. Because he's the one who will be asked to pay when that loan matures. In fact, they are paying more in interest as they borrow. You are paying in interest the same amount as the amount you are borrowing.
What?
At any given time, yes.
Yeah.
If you look at what they borrow, for example, in the last 10 years, what is paid in interest, the domestic debt, and what is the loan amount, they're almost the same amount.
After all these years.
Yes, so why were you borrowing then? It meant you had what you paid in interest is equivalent to the principal sum you borrowed. Then you could have as well not borrowed, because now it means you paid this much in interest, but you still have a loan. And year to year, the sum that is paid in interest and the loan amount that was taken are almost the same. That is the tragedy. And that to me is a big problem. We have, as a country, to go back and rethink our model, our economic model. And Kenyans are paying attention to the economy. That is where they should put their fingers on. Things will only change the more we get Kenyans talking the economy. That is when things will change in this country.
And do you think that going the judicial way is going to solve this? Because the parliament seems to be part of the government right now, and the court orders are also being disobeyed by the government. What is the actual way that can possibly bring all this into terms?
I believe the quest to go to court should not relent. People who have an issue with whatever is passed or executive action done by the government should continue putting them to account, calling them to account through court action. Of course, Parliament has, in my view, shied away from its responsibility. They don't even seem to understand what their role is, most of them. If you can go to a parliament and the chairman of a committee tells you that there is no loan that we've not approved, and you ask him, why did you approve all these 10 trillion loans? And he keeps quiet. And he says, oh, I've been there since 2013, I know. I've served longer. Yes, you've been there for the longest time, but you've done nothing. You've just been warming a seat. You need to pay attention to your job.
Yeah.
Your job was to oversight the executive. You are not doing it. Even if the executive is from your party, you still owe it to the people of Kenya to oversight that executive. In fact, they have become accomplices, if you ask me. In law, we call them accessories to the fact. Because if Parliament was playing proactively its role and raising these questions, of course, the executive will also shy away from malfeasance. But when Parliament is just there singing cheerleaders, like watoto wa primary wanaimbia nyayo, the executive will go amok and start doing things that are not allowed by the law. And that is what, unfortunately, our Parliament is reducing itself to. When they don't ask critical questions, and they are voting, some of them based on their party affiliations, some voting on, from what I hear, having been paid some little money to take certain positions. It's quite unfortunate, because the consequences of that, you may get your 50,000 shillings to vote in a particular way. Then the next day, you're faced with your constituents who cannot meet the cost of living. You saw the Langata MP yesterday giving to give fare now to people at the bus stop, because you know those people can't afford to pay the bus fare. But the same person was voting for increasing the VAT on fuel. So will you be giving fuel to them every day? You know, that kind of childishness is what messes up our economy. Because when he was elected to sit in a place where you're supposed to have a serious discourse on financial measures and their impact on the economy and the people. Contribute in that platform.
Because that is your responsibility.
That is your responsibility. Your responsibility is not to go to a bus stop and start giving people little money that you're giving them fare. So fine, you give them fare to go to town. How will they get back home in the evening? Will they walk? And then the next day, for those who are not there. So you can't be doing cheap, in my view, what you call cheap PR gimmicks to try to win the people. If you genuinely care for your people, go and have a serious discussion, debate on policies, laws that affect them, and make your contribution known. And then vote accordingly, based on reason. Then you tell the people, this is what I did. Even if you lose the vote, but at least publicly your stand should be known that this is the contribution of a member of parliament. This was our voice when the debate was being made. But you don't know what informed his decision to vote. They just vote. MPs are not even telling you, I'm going to vote for the finance bill because of these reasons. I'm going to vote against it because of these reasons.
Someone said some did not even understand.
They didn't know what was going on. Then they just say yes, no, without knowing. That is, to me, the tragedy. And Kenyans, we have to start thinking of electing people to office who mean well. In fact, if you ask me, I believe 90% of Kenyans, if you give them an opportunity to employ these MPs in their factories, in their houses, even as house helps, over 90% of Kenyans will not employ any of those people in their personal spaces. But then you elect them to go and represent you in the most critical component of your life. You must be able to elect somebody who, even if you left your kid with, you'll be happy that your kid is in safe hands, somebody is taking good care of your family or your interests. But we can't employ them in our own houses, can't work with them in our companies, but you're electing them to the national legislature.
Wow.
Characters who don't mean well for this country. Thank you.
Okay, as we wind up, yesterday, I think just this week, at the beginning of this week, the High Court ruled out the appointment of the CAS. And from what we have seen in the past, we've seen the government kind of ignoring court orders. What do you think about the forthcoming events from this particular?
No, they'll have to obey that court order. There's no question about it. There are consequences for disobeying court orders. If they want to disobey, that's okay. You have all the guns, you can do it. But there'll be consequences. Because remember, it is the people who decide. And it's the same court that made you president. You're a president because of the law. Or you are a member of parliament because of the law. It's a legal process that took you there. If you want to now move on a premise that you don't believe in the court or justice system, then it's a recipe for chaos and anarchy. I don't think the people of Kenya will take kindly to any act of disobedience of the court orders. If Kenya Kwanza wants to disobey, fine, they can proceed. But there will be consequences when the time they meet the people comes, on the ballot or on the streets. the people will vote with their feet on what they think of an administration that does not commit itself to the rule of law. You always are on the side of, even me, sometimes I disagree with decisions of the courts. But you say, I disagree, but I respect. And you obey it. Because that is the nature of life. We've tried to organize ourselves as a civil society in a legal framework that has a dispute resolution mechanism within it. So do it. So submit yourself, don't do what the court says, but you can express your discontent. You can even demonstrate against the court. But don't do that which the court has said you should not. But you can demonstrate against the decision. That one you're allowed. You can even demonstrate, you can write articles, you can call them out. Right? But at the point when they've spoken, you just follow the legal process to deal with it. Otherwise, if you just say we are going to ignore, then the next day even me, I can decide now that I ignore the court process. I'm declaring myself that I'm now the de facto president of Kenya. That will be chaos. Anarchy. Treason. Yes, you can't do that. So we must obey the courts, even if we disagree. And I've said even myself, at times I disagree with some decisions of the courts, but I respect those decisions and you abide by them. And I've even expressed my disaffection in op-eds, public forums where I criticize the reasoning, but you respect the finding.
Wow. As we wind up, maybe one last word to the viewers and the supporters of PIKI PONKI.
We keep it here. Let's keep engaging. Let's talk. Let's keep our hands down on the economy. That is where we are heading. The third and final liberation of this country will be the economic liberation. To make sure that we open the surface of our stomachs, that we are able to access food, we are able to live a life of dignity, that everybody deserves an opportunity in this country, and that we cannot live as slaves for others. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Wakili. Of course, everyone who has been watching, this is the Reality Kenya, and of course, my name is Simi Kenya, and we say a big thank you to Wakili for taking your time to be on the show each and every week, and they are loving it, they have always built it, and it's growing each and every day.
Thank you.
May God bless you.
Thank you.
Until next time, from the Learned Corner, see you. Thank you so much. May God bless you.